Hey everyone, it's Kashira. Please let me know if you can hear me okay in the comments down below. We're about to get started and jump right into the presentation. I'm super excited for you all to be here. I know the Facebook comments thing is being a little weird, like there's an error message after you post your comment or your introduction, but it's still actually going through even though that message is appearing. So just let me know if you can hear me okay and make sure you introduce yourself. This is a really great opportunity for you to network with the other attendees and let us know where you're here from and what it is you do. And we're actually going to go ahead and jump right into the slide deck. So I just want to make sure that everyone can hear me okay before I get started and get too far into the slide deck. Okay. Okay, looks like we have sound. Okay, awesome. Shout out to the folks that are tuning in via the YouTube chat. Yay, you guys are resourceful. I love it. I love it. You are already built for entrepreneurship because you are resourceful. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump on in. I want to do a couple of shout outs. Shout out to Christina, Renee, Tiffany, Omar, Sharday, Trey, Melody. Who do we have here on YouTube? We have Jamie and Jeline. Thank you all so much for tuning in to How I Built a Six-Figure Side Hustle While Having a 9-to-5. I do hope you had the opportunity to grab the workbook for tonight, but if not, grab a notebook. We have a lot to cover, and I do want to try to get through this as fast as possible so that you're able to go and have dinner. So with that, if you stay till the end of the session, you'll have the opportunity for live Q&A as well as a live giveaway. So once we're done with the slide deck, I am going to do a giveaway where one of you will have the opportunity actually to win complimentary access to one of my class bundles called the Game Changer Bundle. It's a really great class around building your business, time management, process improvement, branding. All of those introductory classes are a part of this bundle. And so in order to win, all you have to do at any point tonight is post to your Instagram stories about tonight's session and tag me. And my Instagram handle is just my name. The winner will be announced at the end of tonight's class. And the more that you post and tag, the more likely that you are to actually win the giveaway. And again, we're going to do it live here on the webinar. So you'll want to make sure that you stay tuned to see if you win, because I'm not going to email you. You're going to have to let me know that you're here. All right. Shout out to Tracy tuning in tonight. Thank you all so much. With that, let's go ahead and jump into it. So I want to start off with an introduction of who I am, because based on tonight's registration list, there are a lot of new faces and a lot of new folks here to the Her Movement and Power Collective brand. So my name is Kashira Moffitt, and I am a brand strategist and coach. I specialize in helping entrepreneurs package their expertise, brand their brilliance, and monetize their online presence. And I primarily do this through my private coaching services. I am a 5-time author, with my latest book being called All in Favor of Branding, that just launched this year. I am a podcaster. My podcast is called The Bombshell Diaries, and I am a serial entrepreneur. I actually launched my second business in 2017, and it is a cosmetics line called Life of a Bombshell. And we're going to go a little bit deeper into the story of where that even came from. I am the creator of Hustle Her Way Summit. This year is the 4th year of the summit, June 28th through 29th here in Pittsburgh. This summit you'll hear a little bit more about as well. It started off as a dream, honestly, a daydream, and now we're 4 years in, and the summit has been nationally recognized by publications such as Fast Company, as well as Brit & Co. I am a speaker. And one thing that I never do during my webinars that I need to get better with is talking about some of the recognition that I have. And as I challenge my clients to get better with self-promotion, I have to do that too. So I was actually named Entrepreneur of the Year in 2017 from Style Week Pittsburgh. I've made several 40 under 40 lists. I've been named a Millennial Visionary of the Year. And just today, I was recognized on the Who's Who Top Communicators in Pittsburgh list, which was really exciting and really cool. So that's a little bit about me. Please let me know a little bit about you in the comments as well. Before I was everything on that last slide, I worked in corporate America. The photos you're seeing are from 2013 and 2015, respectively. So the top photo is from my very first job, and the second photo was my first week in my new office of the job I had before I quit and went full time into entrepreneurship. So before I was everything you saw on that last slide, I worked in corporate America, and my goal was to climb the corporate ladder. I wanted to be either a CEO or a chief diversity officer, and I started off working in banking. So I actually went to Hampton University where I was in a 5-year master's program. So it was 3.5 years undergrad, a year and a half grad. So I did get both degrees at the same time. And I was actually on the financial services track. And I decided to move to Pittsburgh and work for a huge bank here where I had the opportunity to be a part of their HR leadership development program. It was a 12-month experience where basically every 2 months I was able to rotate into a new team so that by the end of that year, I had a full understanding of HR. So I worked in diversity, recruiting, training, compensation, employee relations, benefits, all of that stuff. And post completing that program, I was actually placed in a hybrid role where I did both training and development as well as diversity recruiting. In 2015, I transitioned from financial services over into higher education, and I served as the assistant director of career management for a top 50 ranked MBA program. In that role, I was a career advisor for MBA students looking to pursue marketing roles post-grad at the 6-figure level. In this role, I also conducted training seminars on social media and branding for both students and faculty and staff. What's really unique about that job is I was unqualified for it. They wanted someone with at least 6 years of experience and it's all of this international knowledge. And at that point, I didn't even have a passport, let alone international knowledge. And what actually landed me that job was my side hustle. They were impressed with my website and my services and my testimonials, and they felt that I could be an asset to the team. So for those of you that are career focused, your side hustle can 100% help you land your next opportunity. While I was working in these jobs, I was also very active in my community. And I know from a couple folks who actually sent me emails today, you're also involved in your community. So I've served on boards such as the Urban League, the National Black MBA, the YWCA, and a number of other progressive organizations here in the region. And I was even elected as president of 2 of the organizations here on the slide. So I wanted to give you a little bit of a summary of who I am now versus who I was when I was actually exposed to entrepreneurship. And the funny thing about it, as I sit here and talk to you as a full-time entrepreneur today, I did not have goals of being an entrepreneur. I didn't even know about entrepreneurship. Of course, I knew it existed and I knew it was a thing, but I wasn't fully taught what it was and how you could even get into it, what was required of it. I was just taught, go to college, get a good job, and that's really it, right? And once I was exposed to entrepreneurship, things changed. So with that, here's the timeline of my business journey. It was very hard for me to get all of this on one slide. I am not kidding, but I didn't want to have you all here all night. So I did the best that I could to summarize it. And if you have specific questions about different points in the journey, feel free to post it in the comments. Okay, so my side hustle looked absolutely nothing like what my business is today. My very first side hustle in 2013 was career coaching. At that point in time, I was providing services regarding resumes, and my first set of customers were people I went to college with. They started to call me and say, I don't like my place of employment. I think I rushed to take a job. I really want to get out, but I don't know how to market myself. I don't feel I've had enough experience. The reason why they were coming to me in the first place was because I worked at my college career center undergrad, and everyone just assumed I had all of this just insane amount of knowledge about career development, when in actuality, I just had a really good relationship with the director of the career center. And I was dead broke in college, as most of us, and I didn't qualify for the work study grants. So I was fortunate enough to get paid directly from the career center and have a job with them so that I could have money. And they taught me everything I needed to know about career development. So my friends started to reach out, and I started off doing this for free. Okay. I was doing it for free. And a sorority sister said, you need to start charging because you're going to get taken advantage of. And I just told her she didn't know what she was talking about. And sure enough, I got taken advantage of. So I started to charge. But you all, I was not the branded beauty you see today. I didn't have a price list, a services list, a website. I had PayPal and text, and I was changing prices per person. It was just no consistency. And while I wasn't smart enough to actually start to build out at least a service list, I was smart enough to get public testimonials of my work on my LinkedIn profile. So as I was gaining testimonials, I kept getting clients. I kept getting referrals. As I was finishing one resume, someone else was reaching out via text or email. So then I started to expand on my services based on demand. So I was asked to write cover letters and help with interview prep and then write LinkedIn profiles, which became my unique differentiator. I was not only writing these profiles, but then I was training people on how to use the tool. Remember, this is 2013. So LinkedIn was still really new and really hot, and people didn't understand fully how to maximize it to network and build their brand. Okay. So at this time, I also started to speak. For this 2-year period, I started to speak. How I landed my first speaking engagement, someone overheard me talking about resumes on LinkedIn to someone who needed help. And that someone happened to be a committee chair of a nonprofit who was hosting a career day event. And they asked me to come and speak on LinkedIn. And that was my very first speaking engagement. Someone was in that room from another organization who asked me to come to theirs. And that's how that kept happening. So fast forward to fall 2015, I decided that I wanted to, well, let me back up. So 2014, I created my first website with a friend of mine, and it was a baby blue and white website, y'all. It was a blog, my resume, an about page, and a rinky-dink services page. And the purpose of the site was mainly to brand me for a new job. It was not even meant to be a business. It was just like, okay, I have a central place to send people when they want to know about my services, but I still didn't have a booking tool or an order form or a payment process. Like I had none of that. Okay. So 2015, I decided to rebrand and change my brand colors and to get a little bit more intentional about the website. At this point, I was blogging a lot more. I was really active on Twitter and social media, and I was starting to build community, and I wanted to do something more with it. I felt like at this point in time, there wasn't all of the amazing, gorgeous empowerment brands we have today. Back then, it just like you had to get in where you fit in, and there wasn't really a place for the multifaceted woman who wanted to do a little bit of everything. So I actually hired a friend who's a publicist to redo my site, and she created the term Her Movement. And Her Movement is something that represents multifaceted, ambitious women who believe in going after their heart's desires without fear. And she created this term because, one, I always used to say her in front of everything. I don't know why. I was going through a phase like Tamar Braxton, okay? And when the movement piece came from the fact that she saw this light in me, and she felt that I would be able to impact thousands upon thousands of people worldwide as I got my footing, and Her Movement just stuck. So we changed the name, we changed the colors, we rebuilt the site, and we focused on bringing women together. This is when my Facebook group launched, things of that nature. From a business side of the house, I was also starting to offer business coaching. So here's how this story goes. Because I was accumulating all of these testimonials on my LinkedIn profile was getting more traffic. And I had an entrepreneur reach out. She was very tenured. I mean, she had been in business at least 10 to 15 years. And she said, I love the work that you're doing. I want to hire you to revamp my LinkedIn, but I want you to do it to get me clients. And at that point, I had never worked on an entrepreneur's profile. So I wasn't even sure how to do it. But I decided to feel the fear and do it anyway and say yes. And I learned what I needed to know, and I rebuilt her profile. And she was so pleased with the work that I did. She continued to hire me for other projects like managing her social media, writing her website content, all of this cool stuff. And then she referred me out to her friends, and I kept getting referrals to do branding and social media assistance. So at this point, I'm doing resumes, LinkedIn, interview prep, coaching entrepreneurs, all of this stuff. And I'm starting to fall in love with working with entrepreneurs. On a side note, my podcast launched that December. It was called The Bombshell Diaries. Okay. So spring 2016, I started to host the Her Movement Twitter chat, which is crazy because I loved Twitter chats. Twitter chats is how I started to build my brand online. And I was really nervous about it, but I decided to do it. And that Twitter chat took off to the point where we were actually recognized in Ebony Magazine as one of the top Black Twitter chats out there. At this point, I also made the scary decision to completely remove career coaching services from my offers, which at that point was 85% of my revenue. So you can imagine how terrifying that was. But at this point, coaching career folks was no longer giving me joy and fulfilling me. I was getting a lot more enjoyment from working with entrepreneurs. So I had to make that scary decision. This is also when I switched careers and I planned the first ever Hustle Her Way Summit. The crazy thing about the summit, it's always in June. At this point, I had about 4 to 5 months to pull this off because of when I wanted to have it. I had no money, no budget, no connections, and somehow, some way, it came together. I had an amazing set of speakers, we got free space, we got sponsors, and like I said, fast forward, here we are, year 4. I'm getting ready to sell out for the 4th time in a row, and that was just amazing. The goal of Hustle Her Way was to bring together career women, side hustlers, and entrepreneurs all in one space, because I felt like when you have diversity of thought in a room, magic can truly happen, and that's what consistently happens. Women have left with internship opportunities, interview opportunities, business partners, folks to collaborate with. People who were attendees have come back and become speakers and vendors and sponsors, and it's amazing to see the growth of our attendees over time. Fast forward to 2017. So at this point, this is when I started to figure out that I wanted to be a full-time entrepreneur, but I was really struggling to figure out how to make it happen. I was severely undercharging for my services. I mean, like $70 for a coaching call. It was crazy. So while I had demand and clientele, I wasn't seeing the revenue. People I was coaching was making more money than me. So that's that piece. But I did at least at this point start offering courses. And I did hybrid where it was part course, part coaching. And that's how I was able to automate a good chunk of my business and start to focus on my makeup line, which was meant to be a passion project, like, 5 or 6 lipsticks, a nice place to, 1, exercise my passion for makeup, 2, test a lot of my marketing ideas. And within 6 months of launching the makeup line, we were featured in Essence Magazine. So you can tell that it's no longer a little lipstick line, and it's now much more. And at this point, I was also writing my first book, which was called Bombshell of All Trades. And as we're getting to the end of the journey, 2018, I launched the Power Collective, which is essentially the services part of my brand. So I removed services from Her Movement. And at one point, I closed my coaching calendar for about a quarter so that I could execute on this. But I was in the mood to do something new. I was feeling very frustrated with undervaluing myself and undercharging. And I didn't think it would be fair to all of a sudden just jack my prices up, 5 and 6x. I'm like, I want to create something new, a better, not better, but a high vibe luxury brand where women would be comfortable coming and investing in themselves and showing up as their best selves and committing at a higher level, because it's really important to me that my clients do the work and challenge themselves to get out of their comfort zone. And so the Power Collective launched at Hustle Her Way Volume 3 that June, and it was a successful 5-figure launch. I was actually in position to quit my job that summer, but I'll be honest with you and say I was scared. So I kept changing the timeline. I kept pushing back when I would quit. At that point, my salary was already 4 or 5x, the monthly pay. But I kept making up excuses. And it just so happened that in higher education, we work on a semester system. So I was already working with my new slate of students that were coming in for the fall. So I just decided that I was going to put in my resignation in December. And in December is when I actually hit the 6-figure mark at the end of the year for my business. And that's when I quit my 9 to 5. So that's a long story. I tried to condense it as much as I can. But on the next couple of slides, I want to pull out the major lessons learned. One of the questions coming in is a Twitter chat like separate, like a group? How often did you do this? So my Twitter chats at one point were 2 times a month, and then they went to monthly. A Twitter chat is a scheduled discussion on the Twitter platform where you all use the same hashtag and there's a host. And the host is pitching discussion questions. So question 1, question 2, and then attendees would use the hashtag to answer those questions. So if we're on question 1, your response would start off as A1, you would type that and then type the answer to answer the question. This is how my Twitter following really blew up, and I started to gain notoriety within the career development space. And got a little bit of press from that was through Twitter. So I don't host a Twitter chat anymore, but when I did in 2016, it was really popular. And as I mentioned, please feel free to put questions in the comments. So in 2016, as I mentioned, I realized my true purpose was in equipping women with the strategies and techniques they needed to grow their business. And at that moment, I decided to go all in. And when I say go all in, I meant I made a commitment to myself that I would be serious about this brand. I wouldn't have step. I would be committed to it, and I would show up consistently. I wouldn't, play around with it. And we all know what, there's a different level of commitment when you decide to go all in. And the following year is when I wanted to do it full time. And so while this sounds like the perfect Cinderella story, I'm not going to lie to you. This was not easy. This seamless summary that was presented is very much all of the good parts. I made a ton of mistakes. After making a ton of mistakes, such as undercharging for my services, stressing about things that didn't actually generate revenue, like having a color coordinated Instagram feed, or creating services to try to please everyone. This one was huge. I was afraid to niche down. I'm sure you all have heard how important it is to be specific and in your niche, and the riches are in the niches, but I was afraid. And I was like, I want to help everybody. I don't want to leave anybody out. I'm afraid of leaving people out and how they're going to feel. So even when I was doing career coaching, I was never specific about who I could help. And the first iteration of my business coaching, it was so broad, and I could feel that something was wrong because I was stressing about my marketing. If your niche is specific enough, the marketing piece, it should not be that difficult. But when you're trying to hit everybody, you have to somehow consistently come up with marketing lingo and visuals that includes everyone. And that, I'm telling you, will not get you more money. It's just going to get you more stress. So after making all of these mistakes, I was able to effectively grow my side hustle to a six-figure business before I quit my job, which was very much important to me. Here's how I was able to do that. Before we get into this piece, I know the comments is a little janky, but let me know which of these three has caused you the most stress. And you can actually put in the comments just a letter. So for A, figuring out what kind of side hustle you actually want to launch. B, being consistent with your side hustle and carving out time to focus on it. Or C, getting out of your own head and doing things that make you uncomfortable, like self-promotion. So just drop the letter in the comments as we get ready to transition. So I see A coming in from Danielle, from Asha. I hope I'm saying your name right, sweetheart. Trisha says C, getting out of your own head. For me personally, when I was getting started with my side hustle, the thing causing me the most stress, honestly, was C, getting out of my own head and doing things that made me uncomfortable. But I can totally relate to any of these things on the slide because starting a side hustle can be intimidating. It can be a lot. So before we get into the 3 secrets to building a six-figure side hustle, I just want to let you know why I'm the person to teach you this. I do remember being in my side hustle stage and being completely unsure of who I was supposed to learn from and who to follow and who was real and who was not. So I wanted to present to you some nicely branded receipts. So as a reminder, I was able to build my business entirely part-time and 3x my yearly salary. I've had over 60 national speaking engagements in the last 4 years. I told you all that I've created and sold out courses, books, digital products, and physical products. And may I add that I did this stuff without advertising. I did it with organic traffic. I've been featured in some of your favorite publications like Essence, Ebony, Fast Company, Her Agenda, CNN Money, and I've never had a publicist on staff. What I'm most proud of is the fact that my clients have gone on to earn well over 6 figures while and after working with me. My clients' results are so important to me. And I'm a no fluff teacher. So now's a really good time to get your pen and paper out because we're about to get into the good stuff. The 3 secrets to building a successful side hustle. So secret number 1, it's very important for you to develop self-awareness and gain clarity on your personal brand. What marketable skills do you have that are already being sought after? A lot of you wrote me today and said, I just don't know which of my skills to start with. I'm in the idea phase. I will tell you to make this easy. As you can see, my business present day doesn't look anything like it did when it first launched. It's okay to evolve. In fact, you should. The first iteration of your business should not and will not be perfect. Okay. And so when you think about what skills you already have, what are people already asking you for? Are you the friend that everybody's always calling asking for outfit advice? Are you the friend always helping people with their budgets and taxes? Are you the friend providing relationship advice? Are you the group life coach? Are you always making the flyers for everyone? Are you the organizer in the family that coordinates the family reunions and holiday dinners? All of those things are marketable skills. So, what I would recommend that you do is conduct a personal SWOT analysis. You can Google SWOT for templates, but it stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I highly recommend that you analyze your strengths and skills, your personality, because that's your unique factor, any experiences you have had, both professional and volunteer, and just life experience. Any differentiating factors? Are you well traveled, well read? Can you cook? Can you draw? Any other differentiating factors that makes you different from most people? And of course, it's important to evaluate your weaknesses. I know a lot of people who start to pack on services to their business that they feel people need, but they're not actually good at. And that's not a good idea. It can negatively impact your brand. What I like to do for my weaknesses is, of course, work on them, but honestly, surround myself with folks who can fill those gaps, who I can refer my clients and customers to for those particular services. I don't want to be the person that you come to for everything. I want to be the person that you come to for the exact thing that I do. So one cool activity you can do to get clarity on your personal brand is create what's called a Johari's window. And this is actually a psychological technique, and you can research the founder of it. But a Johari's window is a technique that helps people better understand their relationship with themselves and others. You want to ask your friends to think of 5 adjectives that they will use to describe you. This activity actually works better if you give them a word bank to pick from. You want to ask them to pick words that describe you as well as what you're good at, and you're going to plot them. And here's how the Johari's window actually looks. So in this first quadrant, in this top left quadrant, you're going to plot all of the words that both you picked and your friends picked. So this is your open area, okay? In the blind spot, you're going to put all of the words that you picked, that your friends picked, but you did not. So that's why it's called a blind spot, because technically you can't see it. In this lower quadrant, you're going to put all the things that you picked that your friends didn't, and then all other words will go in unknown. This is the Johari window method. This is a really great place to start to get clarity on your personal brand if you are unsure. And in fact, I run little experiments still present day to ensure that my personal brand is still on target. Your personal brand and your business brand, honestly, is defined by how other people feel about you, your reputation, the experience of you. Yes, we can put out pretty graphics and a gorgeous website, but if our clientele and our followers can't easily articulate what we do or what we're good at, then our brand is not on par. It is up to us to create amazing virtual and in-person experiences for that. And so an example of this present day is when I casually ask you guys on Facebook and Instagram, what do you think I do for a living? Or how would you describe what I do for a living? Because I want to know, am I clear? Do you fully understand what I do so that when you need me, you will hire me or you'll refer me out? Okay. So let me know in the comments if you have questions. And I know, like I said, if you have issues on the main webinar page, you can go ahead and click the YouTube button to use the YouTube comments. Okay. So I want to give you an example of how this worked out in real life. This is one of my former clients, Shauna, who's a celebrity fashion stylist, okay? And she came to me for help with just marketing and scaling and growing. And one thing we were able to develop together was a style subscription box. She was wondering how she could leverage her brand to expand without necessarily increasing her workload. And we started to think about, what do people know you for? And she's like, they know me for my ability to always piece things together. A lot of her clientele just was not sure how to make accessories and the outfits work. So we brainstormed a way to give them the entire look, the accessories, the outfits, sometimes even the shoes, the bag, and we created a subscription box, and it did initially so well. It was just a quarterly offering, but we came up with this idea essentially based on the interpretation people had of her when they thought about what's the first thing that comes to mind, how good she is at piecing things together. And of course, during our time together, she did so many other things like attracting new clients, opening a third boutique. She scaled up. She hit 6 figures halfway through the year. Like, she just killed it. This is another good example of how sometimes the things that we should be working on are literally right there in our faces. So secret number 2, you want to remain authentic to you and keep your why front of mind. This is really important, and this ties to the major key of consistency. Consistency is one of the key ways I was able to grow to 6 figures. While I've been in business for the last 5 years, I've seen a lot of gorgeous websites come and go, people with the really pretty websites, pretty Instagram pages, come and go within 3 to 6 months. The reason why that happened, in my opinion, is because they weren't really passionate about what it was they were doing, and it was hard for them to sustain something that they didn't actually care about. So when you're creating your business, it should not be a carbon copy of someone else's. This is so important. Yes, I want you to complete your competitive research using social media, books, and Google, but you're basically looking to understand what's already on the market so that you can create a more unique offering, not to duplicate what's already out there. It's bad business to copy others. And also, again, it's going to be hard for you to maintain something that's not authentic to you. Remember why you are doing this. Remember your passion and desires around helping people or creating more financial freedom for yourself, whatever your why is. You guys, you will have competition. That's okay. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. There's always going to be somebody that does something similar to you. But if you keep your eye on your own lane and remain consistent with your own content and offers and all of the things that you're working on, you will stand out from the pack. One thing people who have been following you for a long time can tell you is that I have been consistent with my brand. I don't disappear and ghost people and pop up every 6 months. Like, I am consistently present, whether that's via email or my Facebook group or on Instagram. And that longevity just adds another layer to your brand. So an example of remaining authentic to yourself is my client, Ree. She's a freelance marketing consultant, and she's not your traditional marketing firm. It was really important to her to have a very innovative brand and a business that allowed her to live internationally as she was getting ready to go off abroad in some kind of freelancer travel program where they would go to different countries every quarter. And so we worked together to create a website that was really intuitive and experience-based where her clients could easily get their proposals in. We also created some opportunities for passive income for her, which was selling her trainings to these companies so that she was able to live the life that she actually wanted. It's important to me to drive home that these things that I'm teaching didn't just work for me, they've worked for other people in other industries as well. Secret number 3, build your network online and offline. Go outside. Get off of Instagram every now and then. One of the major ways I was able to develop clientele and build my brand was by joining professional associations and nonprofits and sharpening my skills. I don't believe that I would be able to host Hustle Her Way in 2016 had I not had experience hosting programs for nonprofits. I worked with the Professional Development Committee and the Gala Committee on different groups that I was in, and that helped me to hone a whole new skill set. I learned about managing a team from my volunteer work. I was able to showcase my skills around marketing and branding and speaking through these organizations, and that helped with credibility. Testimonials came in from my work that I was doing there and just added to another level of, again, credibility that I had. Remember, I told you that my first speaking engagements came from me just being in the right place and talking about what I was doing. I didn't have to pitch. I didn't have to have a publicist and do all of those things. My first 5 engagements, and I would even argue my first 10, were booked without me having to send emails and pitch and do all of that because of the personal brand that I built. This also helped me to grow a following on social media because as I was going to different conferences and events and building my network, I was always tweeting where I was, posting it on LinkedIn, posting it on Instagram, all of those different things. And so people always were following me to see what was happening. Where am I next? What's going on? Where is she? And so building your network really helps. I have been in rooms where conversations that I had, by the food line at an event has led to new clientele. I think people underestimate this and they feel like this means go and be a business card pusher. And that's not what I'm saying. You do want to go and have authentic conversations, but you want to be prepared at these events. Do you have your marketing collateral? Are you prepared to book a call, book a client at any point in time while you're out at these events? Do you have, my stylist made a branded shirt for me with my website on it. And what I did as a way to help bring in additional clients. And this stuff does help you and it does work. And so an example of getting outside of the house is one of my clients, Sheena. She's a makeup artist, but she also owns her own makeup line. And one of the key things we focused on together was actually hosting events with her. We talked about her collaborating with other brands and other folks in her field that did similar things, not necessarily the same, to host events. And every time she was selling out at these events, she was not only selling out of her makeup, but she was also booking clients who wanted her services because we got her out of the house and in front of people. And Sheena is so passionate and excited and her energy is contagious. And it was so important for her to just get out of the house and do things in her community. And yes, live streaming and all of that helped, but I promise there was a different level of energy and people being attracted to her based on her getting out of the house. So as we start to get ready to get to the end here, I did things the hard way, y'all. I took the DIY route. I made a lot of mistakes and waited entirely too long to invest in the help that I actually needed. I want you to know that while my timeline said 5 years, you don't have to necessarily wait as long as I did. Building a side hustle doesn't have to be complicated. You just need to gain clarity on your strengths, skills, and talents in order to effectively craft a marketable service. You need to remain true to yourself while embracing the discomfort of growth. And you want to have to showcase your skill set both online and off so the world actually knows about it. Again, these are things that I learned the hard way. You all saw on my timeline, it took me 2 years to start marketing myself for real and really getting on social media and putting my site out there from 2013. This evening, I'm giving you the beginning phase of the process to building a 6-figure side hustle. We don't have enough time tonight because you all need to have dinner to go over the entire process. However, what I've shared is a good starting point for you. And I want you to think about these points that we've covered and how you can start to apply them literally as soon as next week. So now the question is, how are you going to move forward after today? Are you going to A, figure it out yourself and take 5 years like I did? Or B, use my proven step-by-step formula to build your 6-figure side hustle on your own terms? More than likely, you register for tonight's session because you have a ton of notes of ideas and marketing plans and goals and things you want to accomplish, places you want to go in your phone and journals around the house. You find yourself constantly reading every blog and watching hours of video, trying to figure out how to officially launch your hustle the right way, if you should go back and stop and start over again, how to get booked, how to make money. You even go on the extra mile of investing in classes and conferences, but you still struggle with piecing everything together. At least I know I did starting out. The truth is, despite everything you've watched, you still feel confused, overwhelmed, and maybe even exhausted. You're confused by all this online talk of sales funnels, automations, and just all of this complicated stuff that honestly you don't need right away when you're launching your side hustle. You're not even entirely sure if you want to be a full-time entrepreneur. And if you don't, that's okay. My goal is not to force you into full-time entrepreneurship. My goal is to give you the option. I want to help you get the option of quitting your job if you want to, or having the comfort of saying, I made an extra $15,000 this month. I will tell you on the days when your job is getting on your nerves, it is much easier to walk in there knowing that you have a nice cushion if in fact you decide you want to up and leave. So what if you could receive a step-by-step, cut and dry, proven process for launching a 6-figure side hustle right away? What if you had 24/7 access to all of the exact resources you need to not only launch your side hustle, but grow it into a full-fledged empire if you so choose. And what if you had access to a mentor who is nationally recognized and has been exactly where you are? The cool thing is, tonight you absolutely can. I want to tell you a little bit more about my course, Side Hustle Success. It's a 6-week self-paced virtual course that gives you everything you need to create a six-figure side hustle, and that will allow you to not only have your business up and running, but honestly create more financial freedom in your life. When I was working my 9 to 5, yeah, I had a good job, right? Good by society standards, but I didn't have a lot of disposable income to go on vacations and live a little bit in terms of traveling on a whim and all of the things I'm able to do today. So I want to also help you to get more just freedom, honestly, for your lifestyle and reshape your future. So the Side Hustle Success Program is here to help you monetize the ideas you've been daydreaming about at work. It is a 6-week course, and there is live support where you are able to get direct feedback from me. And I just want to quickly walk you through the six modules that you'll have access to over the 6 weeks. So module 1 will kick off with clarity. The course is going to start off with, how do you know what side hustle makes the most sense for you and will be the most profitable for you? One of the biggest mistakes new side hustlers make is trying to monetize all of their skills in the beginning, and they struggle with maintaining that. So here we're going to figure out which of your skills is the most profitable and how to determine what you should focus on for the purposes of this course. The cool thing about the course as well is that you'll have lifetime access to it. So if you want to go back and launch other businesses with this material, you absolutely can. Module 2 is packaging. Here you will learn the two key components to a successful business. One, developing a signature irresistible service, and two, identifying your target market. I know you've probably been taught that you have an ideal customer, but you can have more than one ideal customer. So after we get clarity on what these things look like, we'll talk about how to properly package your offer and get ready for your first sale. Yes, in week 2, we will start to talk about how to start making money. Module 3 will cover branding. The branding module will help you understand how to visualize this new idea. You'll pinpoint your title and tagline, your brand voice, your messaging, the visuals, all of that cool stuff. People always want to know, why does branding come smack in the middle? Many of my clients have spent thousands of dollars on websites and logos that after working with me, they've realized they can't use because the visuals don't match the business model we've created, and it doesn't line up with who we're actually marketing to. So we need to do the branding stuff once we're clear on the business and the services and who we're actually targeting. Module 4 is going to talk about sales. I can't teach you how to have a successful side hustle while teaching you how to sell. And sales was what I struggled with for a really long time, a number of years. Module 4 will deep dive into sales and marketing, and you'll learn the key things you need to get the sale and how to figure out what social networks are worth your time, how to set them up the right way, what visuals you need, and my favorite part, the best tools for automation so that you're not stuck on a computer all day, because who has time for that when you're working a 9 to 5? Module 5 will cover authority. This is going to teach you how to position yourself as an expert in your industry. Who doesn't want to be the go-to person in their lane? You'll learn my go-to strategy for attracting the interest of your clients by leveraging professional organizations, conferences, press and publications, and much, much more. And then the last module will cover balance. Again, I am all about effectively managing your time. My goal is to not overwhelm you and have you face burnout. I want to show you how to effectively manage your side hustle with the demands of your job, okay? You'll learn my best tactics for operating your business while being fully present at your 9 to 5. So after this course, you'll be able to identify any self-limiting beliefs and mental roadblocks maybe stopping you from taking action, clearly define what success means to you, and live your best money-making life on your own terms. Understand how to properly leverage your skills, interests, and passion to make money on the side. Gain clarity on your brand and how to properly showcase that on social media. The essential tools you need to have in place to get paid, and essentials only. I don't want you spending a ton of money on things you don't need. And lastly, I want you to feel confident about effectively managing your side hustle, your job, and any other responsibilities that you have. So I want to give you some examples of testimonials of folks who are just like you, who've gone through my courses before. So this is Marley. She works for L'Oreal and she is a hairstylist and hair blogger. And she says the course was everything I needed and more. Not only did I learn skills that will take my career, business, and blogs to the next level, but I also gained sisters I know I can depend on. My biggest takeaway is that I am leaving this program more determined and more prepared than ever to flawlessly execute the launch of my blog and sustain it. I believe in me and I gained back my fire and passion to continue what I started. Ebony Nicole, this course encouraged me to explore my business purpose in depth. Thanks to Kashira, I am full of ideas to improve my business model and optimize my brand. The videos and tools provided helped our cohort and were extremely intentional. Ebony is a blogger and has a brand called Fluffy Movement, and she hosts events and interviews. She does hosting, all kinds of amazing things. So as we get ready to wrap up, this course consists of video and audio trainings over a 6-week period. So every week a new module will be unlocked and you will have 24/7 access to it and you will be able to watch these at any given point in time. You will have 6 weeks of guided workbooks that will give you the exact prompts you need to craft your six-figure strategy. And there will also be assignments, which is where you're able to get the direct support from me. And there's 2 bonuses for everyone that enrolls in the course. The first is a Business Essentials Toolkit, which will give you all of the templates that you need to actually track your business growth and metrics in the short term and long term. And then you'll also get my creation masterclass. One of the biggest questions my clients always ask is, how do you create so much content? It's like you're always putting out something new, and there are several secrets to my madness. So you'll get access to that course and that toolkit. So with everything included in this course and all of the strategies taught, honestly, the course should be priced at well over $2,000. And honestly, today, you won't even have to pay half that amount. You won't have to pay $1,500 or even $1,000. You can actually get started today for just $99. Okay? So there's general enrollment, which essentially gets you everything on the last slide that we covered: the video trainings, the workbooks and assignments and accountability from me, the 2 course bonuses, and lifetime access to the course. So you'll be able to revisit it at any point in time. You can get started today for just $99. The VIP enrollment includes everything that was listed before: the videos, the workbook, the course bonuses, lifetime access, and you get 2 VIP exclusives. You get a 45-minute private coaching call with me and a 60-day complimentary pass to my membership community, Bombshell Business Society. So you can network with other business owners, okay? And that one you can get started for just $147. If you enroll tonight, you will actually get access to the fast action bonus. And I believe that this actually expires on Friday. But if you enroll, you will get access to the Bombshell Sales Academy course, a $500 value for no cost. It will be completely free for you, and you will have a lifetime access to it. And this is a 4-week course solely focused on sales. And why I wanted to make this a bonus is because when you're done with the course, your business is up and running and you're ready to do a little bit more complicated funnels and all of this stuff, these automations and tripwires and all of the things you're hearing about, you will have access to the content that will help you do this right away. So at your fingertips. So that's the fast action bonus. And again, you can get started for just $99. So for $99, you can get access to everything you need literally today. So you may be thinking, this course sounds great, but I work 60 hours a week already at my jobs. I may have multiple jobs. I won't be able to actually focus on the course. I will tell you, I've been there when I was in my programs and I was in my full-time role. I was traveling a lot for recruiting purposes. And I still had to figure out, how do I live out of a hotel room, be on my feet all day, and then come back and manage my business at night. And I had to learn how to do that. And that's why I included module 6, the balance piece. I want to teach you how to do this. People have this misconception that when you're a full-time entrepreneur, that means you have nothing but free time. But girl, I have less time, way less time than before. So it's important for you to learn how to manage your time now in order to be effective in managing your business. Not to mention, When the modules are rolled out each week, it's not something that you actually have to tune in for at a certain day and time. They're rolled out and you're able to watch it no matter what time of day, what day of week, so you can figure out what works best for you to carve in time for the course. You may say, I have kids and I won't be able to find time for this course. Again, you can watch these videos at 11 o'clock at night when your kids are asleep, or you can get up before them and watch it in the middle of the day. That's why it was important for me for this to be a self-paced course, because I don't want to create more overwhelm for you. I want to give you the opportunity to digest this material as you see fit. And again, the course is 6 weeks in the sense of there are 6 weeks of content, but because you have a lifetime access, again, you can take this whenever you want. You may also be thinking this is a big investment, and I completely understand. And I will tell you that when I was launching my business, I was afraid of investing in myself. I probably didn't spend more than 20 bucks at a time, and that's another reason why I struggled. I was trying to piece things together on my own, buying a workbook here and an ebook there and a masterclass here, and I was still having to figure out how to apply these things to my business, how to piece these things together. And when I started to actually invest higher levels of income into my business in terms of higher end courses, higher end coaching, I saw a lot of growth, and that helped me to get to a better place of sustainability. But I also, again, remember what it was like to try to figure out where was the money coming from to pay for this stuff. And so that's why, again, we have the flexible payment plans where you start off with just $99 down so that you can have access to this now versus worrying about how to come up with the full payment upfront. So this course is for you if you're looking to create additional income outside of your 9 to 5, if you're looking for an outlet to showcase your passion and get creative and put your ideas and thoughts into the world. For those of you that already have ideas about your business, I want to help you build a solid foundation and do this the right way and avoid all the frustration that I felt early on. And this program is for you if you're a self-starter and are motivated and driven. Entrepreneurship is something that's challenged me way more than my job ever did. And so these are just important skills that you want to start to develop and sharpen now. This course is not for you if you just hate your job and hate having a boss. Because if that's the case and you're not really passionate about your work, this is going to feel like a chore to you and you're not going to like it and your business won't be sustainable. You may need to just figure out how to find a better job. Just completely being honest. And I know everybody wants this lifestyle of being their own boss, but you still have somebody to answer to when you're in business. I have to answer to my clients and my partners and my collaborators and my team, so there's still somebody that you have to report into. This is not for you if you've just been fired multiple times, because a lot of times what we don't understand is that if we've been fired for actual bad habits, we're going to bring that into our business, and then your business is going to struggle. And when you're an entrepreneur, you are the sole responsibility. You are the sole income provider for your house, meaning any money coming in is based upon what work you're putting out. And when you start to have employees, their livelihoods depend on you too. So you do want to make sure that you're in position to take on that responsibility. And this program isn't for you if you aren't ready to step outside your comfort zone and you aren't ready for growth. So I want to be the one that partners with you so that one day soon you experience the things you're praying for, whether that's making extra money and not being check to check like I was. I'm not going to lie. When I first started off in my career, if you want to be able to just live a luxurious lifestyle of being able to travel whenever you want to and spend money on things that you enjoy and not have to worry about how you're going to replace that bill money that you just spent. If you have a passion of helping people and you want to put your services out into the world and you just want to be able to have the experiences that I had of helping people make 6 or 7 figures in their business and just seeing the joy on their faces when they do that. I want to help you experience those things that I've been blessed enough to experience on my own. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, now is a great time for you to put your questions in the chat and enroll in Side Hustle Success. You can click the button on our webinar screen. I've also put the link to enroll here in the chat on YouTube. I am so excited and grateful that you tuned in tonight and you were with me. And I pray that you decide to make the leap into Side Hustle Success so that we can get started on building your foundation for your business and start making you money in your side hustle. So I'm just checking now to see what questions are coming in, if any. And if I miss your questions, I can always reply to them via email. Oh, good question. So it's $99 and it's a biweekly payment. So it'll always be $99 every 2 weeks for 6 payments until you hit the 6 week threshold. I'm sorry, the 6 payment threshold. So it's $99 and then it won't increase. It's $99 every 2 weeks. And when you actually go to the page to enroll, you'll actually see your various payment options and how that will work. Keisha says, I feel like I launched too soon with no real plan. Is it too late for me to fix it and brand correctly? No, it's not too late for you to fix it at all. Do I think you should stop and reorganize? Absolutely. You'd be a great candidate for the course because we can start to teach you how to take what you already have and build a strong foundation and essentially relaunch it, which you can 100% do. And there's some tactics that we could teach you in the course to do that. Christina says, I'm looking for speaking opportunities. Absolutely. So we can teach you, especially within the authority module, how to brand yourself for that and seek those opportunities out. Melody says, does a SWOT analysis work to find your niche as a life coach? Yes, especially for life coaches, because sometimes people are way too broad with how they position themselves as a life coach. And so you want to start to figure out what lane do you play in as relates to that. Like, what type of life coach are you? Like, what specialties do you have? So the SWOT is a great place for you to start. Misha says, how can I get what I visualize to come to life? So for me, I am big on visualization, Misha. I have several vision boards and I meditate and I do all of those things. But one of the big things that I feel has helped me to bring my goals to life is consistently executing, doing the work, getting support, and trusting the people that I got from support from when they challenged me to be uncomfortable and get outside of my comfort zone, actually doing those things. Because I will tell you, from my experience, when I saw that things are really moving for me and happening for me, is when I was taking action. When we make our vision boards or we visualize ourselves in certain places, we need to back that vision up with works. So that's why I'm really passionate about teaching you the right way to do things so that you avoid the pitfalls and the missteps and all of those things that I just messed up on. You all saw how long it took me to get serious about my business, how long it took me to get a website, how long it took me to start charging my worth and all of those different things. So I want to help you to avoid all of that. I disappeared from my business Facebook group, which is where my main audience is. Would it be good to pop back up or just start over? But that one, it would depend. I mean, if your business model hasn't changed and your audience hasn't changed, I would try to pop back up there, but I would go intense with that. Like, I would consistently be live in the group, posting in the group, just getting people back engaged, and also host a campaign to increase the number of members you have. A hybrid course is essentially, it's up to the facilitator, but for me, a hybrid course means it's not just self-paced in a sense that you're just watching the videos and that's it. There's live support. So with this course, as you're completing the assignments, you're able to actually get direct feedback from me and support from me. And at the VIP level, you're actually able to have a coaching call with me. So it's a nice mix of personalized attention and the self-paced benefits of a course. So one benefit of courses is you're able to watch things as you have time and take it at your own pace and things like that. So with that, it's really important to me to still have some kind of touch point with my clients. That I think that's what makes me unique and different as a coach is I still want to be able to touch you in some way and give you personalized advice and support. And so as I Hustle Success, I really want to be able to do that for you all. And just so you all know, for those that came in late, that the replay will be available tonight. I'll make sure you all have the link so that you can go back and watch it in case you catch anything that you missed. Let me actually just show my face. Okay, so we're doing Q&A and I'm looking to the right because this is where my other computer is. Look at Jen's. Lindsay says, justify. Is it $99 every 2 weeks and then $147 for VIP? Good question, Lindsay. Let me actually pull the page up for you so I can show you how this works. So essentially, there are three ways for you to pay. You pay all up front, you can pay monthly, so one time a month for 3 months, or you can pay bi-weekly. And if you pay bi-weekly, it's 6 payments every 2 weeks. So it's going to be 6 payments every 2 weeks until you get to the 6th payment. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen one more time and show you the sales page and show you what I mean by that. Because when you go to this, it'll actually show you like how many payments it is. Okay, so let's say you wanted to do general enrollment. When you click enroll now, you will actually see the levels of payment. So full payment, 3 monthly payments, or 6 biweekly. So every 2 weeks, $99 until the payments are up, and that will be it for you. If you wanted to do VIP, same difference. It would be 147 every 2 weeks for 6 installments. Okay. But you also have the option of simply doing monthly as well as paying in full. Again, I really wanted to be flexible here because I just know I understand and I get it. So I wanted it to be flexible and easy for everyone to access. So you have flexibility of figuring out which option makes the most sense for you. And again, to get the fast action bonus, you just need to sign up. So you can do the 6 payments or the pay in full, whichever makes the most sense for you, to get the additional course that's valued at $500. And that's truly valued at, like, that's not a made up number. I've launched this course live 2 different occasions, and $497 is how much it actually costs. So that's my reward for you for taking action quickly. Because again, as I was reflecting on my own journey, like, I remember just knowing that I needed to invest in myself, literally watching people and being like, okay, this class is for me. I know I need it. It's going to help me. But just having that sticker shock and being worried about it and worrying if it would pay off. And honestly, that was my own fear. I always say, do you trust yourself to show up and do the work? And based on what you've all have seen from me, thank you, Lindsay and Rashida, based on what you have seen from me, do you feel that if you implement everything I teach you in this course, that you'll make your money back? And that's how I made my buying decisions. If I feel like I would make my money back if I showed up for myself, then I would make that jump. And I challenge you to think through that for yourself, you know? And when you invest, you know, you have to sit up a little bit straighter. You have to show up a little bit more, have to put more of your back into it. And you start to surprise yourself at what you're able to accomplish and what you're able to put out into the world, because now you have something holding you accountable because you want your money back, right? And so honestly, this stuff in entrepreneurship, you need all the motivation you can get sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes you are just like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? But having that desire and that commitment to yourself, showing up for yourself, having a desire to earn, there's nothing wrong with wanting to make money at all. You can want to get paid. I want to teach you how to get paid. I told you all, I was struggling charging $70 for coaching calls. And now I'm at a point where my cheapest service is $3,000. Okay. I was the girl charging $70 an hour for coaching. And now I'm at a $3,000 price point. I'm a full-time entrepreneur, and I'm doing things that honestly in 2013, 2014, 2015, I would not have imagined. I'm flying all over the place for speaking engagements, and I'm writing books, and I'm just shook. And I'm like, dang, if I knew now, you know, if I knew then what I know now, I'm like, I wonder how much faster I could have got to where I am. And I'm thankful for my journey, but I recognize that my journey was intentional and my steps were ordered because I needed to be able to help you all. And I needed to go through all of those trials and tribulations and frustration and just hard times so that I could be a better coach and a better teacher. And so if I can help it, I want to help as many people who are committed to the process as possible avoid those missteps that I've made and bring their goals to life faster. I want you to surpass me in revenue. Okay. I want you to make more money than me. I want you to get more press than me. I want you to get more awards than me, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to pour into you and be your partner and your supporter. And I pray that you see the value in this for yourself. You see the value in what type of impact you can have on the world and your community and your society for just taking this step. Honestly, spending the money is honestly the easy part, right? You pull your credit card out now, easy part. You know, sync your PayPal. It's, you know, that's that part. The hard part comes after you enroll and showing up and watching all your trainings, even when you're tired, and doing all your workbooks, even when you're sleepy, and turning in your homework and being open to the feedback that I'm going to give you. Because you know I'm going to read it. You know I'm going to read your homework, right? Like, right? And being open to it and then implementing and trying things again and just being open to the process. Melody says, I need this course. I need to get it. Let's do it. Let's do it. So just to wrap up, you guys, I don't want to hold you too long. Again, the Fast Action bonus expires on Friday. Enrollment is open until April 12th, but I do want you to take advantage of the Fast Action bonus of getting this course, the Sales Academy, by enrolling this Friday. If you have any questions, you can shoot me an email. As mentioned, I did put the link here on YouTube in the comments, as well as on the webinar page if you're watching from that platform, for you to get signed up. When you click the button, and you'll be able to read all about the course and read all about the modules and what you're going to get, what you're going to learn, and enroll. If you have any other questions, feel free to shoot me an email or a DM, or wait, let me see if there's anyone for the giveaway. I forgot to re-mention that. Some people are probably like, what giveaway? I may even just check my Instagram, honestly. Oh, no, we have a winner. Our winner is SG Beauty Bar. So if you're at SG Beauty Bar, send me a DM on Instagram and I will get you your prize. Oh, so good question from Rated Lex. It says, it won't let me comment, but I have a question. First is there such thing as wanting to do too much? Yes. Yes, but it's not like you can't do it at all. It's a matter of doing it in an order. So you guys saw my timeline. I didn't do all of the things that I do now when I first started. I strategically rolled things out. I rolled out my blog, then my podcast, then my summit, then my makeup line. And so I want to teach you how you can actually get to a point where you're a serial entrepreneur like me and you have all of these things going on, but in an order that makes sense for you, because in the early stages, you're still trying to figure out, honestly, how to balance everything, how to get consistent money coming in, consistent clients, how to get your technology together. And so if you try to do too many projects at one time in the beginning, you're going to burn out way faster. So I'm going to teach you how to pace yourself on launching different projects and ideas. So that was a really good question, Lex. Okay, I don't see any other questions coming in, but if you have any others, DM me on Instagram or send me an email. With that, have an amazing night, and I pray to see all of you in Side Hustle Success.